Hey guys, Wendy Copeland here. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in Austin, Texas, and I wanted to talk about fighting well. It's the holiday season, tensions run high between family, friends, sometimes your partners, so I think it's a great topic to discuss 5 ways that you can fight well, because it's going to happen. And there's enough pain in this world, there's enough hurt in this world, there's enough scary in this world that we don't want that to happen with the people we love. So, how do we fight well? Number one, no name calling. This is about you and about the other person. The second you say those mean words, those mean phrases, you're lazy, you're a liar, you are a terrible whatever, is the second that you go from a rational conversation into that emotional brain. You go from that left side logical thinking to that right side emotion of the brain, and it really just escalates the situation to a place that you don't want to go. Same thing when you say those self-deprecating comments like, well, I'm just the worst, blah, 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 ever. I'm a terrible friend, and that sarcasm comes out and like, I can't do anything right, is the time that the other person has nothing that they can say. It's a lose-lose situation, and it really just puts you into that emotional brain. And while emotions are good and it's good to express your feelings, I also think that it makes it very, very difficult to have a logical and communicative conversation. Number two is extremes in your phrasing, like always and never. You always do this or you never do this. The fact of the matter is that's probably not true. It's probably not that they always do it or that they never do it, but it's a sometimes. And if we say always and never, we automatically just, the fighting stops because there's nothing really to say except an argument, which is, that's not true. I don't always do this. I don't never do it. And so it automatically puts the other person on the defensive. And so I just encourage you when you're fighting not to use that phrase. Number three, listen well. We are in a culture that does not listen very well. We like to talk. I'm here on a talking video. Point proven, I guess. But I guess all I'm saying is when you're in conversation with another person, listen. Don't be thinking about your next argument for why they're wrong. Don't be already, you're like hearing noise, but really all you want to do is have the last word. Listen to where they're coming from. There might be a reason that they really feel the way they do. And I know it's hard. We're not good at it, but we gotta work to try harder. It's gonna help when we're arguing. Number four is taking responsibility for your part, not blaming, not saying you make me feel, but really taking on knowing what you did. We are not perfect. There are a lot of people who say they're perfectionists in the world and they have high expectations for themselves, but out of all the perfectionists, do you know any that are actually perfect? I don't. So know that you're going to have faults. Know that you're going to have shortcomings. Know that you are sometimes going to say things that you regret and mean things, but you can't take your words back. So as best as you can, cover that mouth when you feel like you're going to say it. Listen well, but then that number four is really about taking responsibility and saying sorry for the parts that you may have contributed to the argument. It softens the other side. It accepts and shows some awareness of yourself and things that you can work on so that you do your part for the fight not to happen, and really allows that person to have some space to look at themselves too. And sorries help. Saying I'm sorry, if it's really genuine, can really, really help when you're fighting. I know if somebody says sorry to me, I soften, and I hope that somebody else would soften when I acknowledge my fault in the part of the fight. Number five is a timeout. If none of these other things work and you are fighting, take a time out. Go for a run, walk on the green belt, get a cup of coffee or tea with a friend, do some art, play some music, make some music, meditate, pray, journal, something that gets you out of the emotional craziness and chaos of the situation and allows you to sit and to reflect and to look at yourself and to take some self-awareness of where you can be better in that relationship with that family member, that partner, or that friend, and allows you to come back in with a fresh set of eyes and a heart and a little more logical, because our emotions can rule us, and while emotions are great, so is thinking, and it's hard to think when we're in that moment. That doesn't mean you walk out and abandon and throw your hands up and, well, I'm just out of here. Like, that brings up a lot of fear of abandonment and rejection for that other person. Let them know you're still here and that you're coming back, but you just need a break. So if all of those things don't work, you've not name called, you've tried to express yourself, you haven't self-deprecated, you aren't using extremes like always and never, you're actually listening, and you've said, sorry, I'm taking responsibility for you, and that other person is just, and you've taken a time out, and number 5, and those don't work, then I do have a 6th tip, and that's a plug for all us counselors in the world. Get an outsider's opinion. Have somebody be a sounding board that can help facilitate the conversation. So the 6th step, if 1 through 5 don't work, is really about therapy, counseling. There are a lot of really great therapists in Austin. You can seek me out. I would love to help if you want to contact me and find who might be a good therapist for you. I can make some referrals to colleagues in the field. You can look me up on my website, www.wendylmftlicenssedmarriagefamilytherapist.com. So wendylmft.com. Or you can contact me by email at wendy.lmft@gmail.com. And I would love to be a resource to you. As I said, the world is full of hurt and pain and craziness going on right now. We don't want that craziness and that pain and that hurt to be in our own relationships with people we love. So we have to learn how to fight well, because we're not always going to agree. But let's find a way to love each other, love our world, and I really hope that you have a nice holiday season and a Merry Christmas, and let me be a resource if you need one, and fight well this season.